The silence after losing a spouse isn't peaceful. It's not the kind of quiet that calms the soul. It's loud in its own way. You feel it when you wake up and realize there's only one toothbrush by the sink. You hear it in the clink of a fork on a plate where laughter used to live. And before you've even figured out how to make it through breakfast, people start asking questions, decisions, deadlines. Have you called the bank? Are you selling the house? Are you okay? But here's the truth no one says out loud. The weeks after losing a spouse are when the worst mistakes happen. Not out of carelessness, but out of exhaustion. The world keeps spinning, but your balance is gone. That's exactly when you're most likely to say yes to things that can quietly unravel everything you and your partner built together. So today, we're going to talk about 5 costly mistakes and why you should never, ever agree to them too soon. Let's start with the big one. The house. Selling your home immediately after your spouse dies is mistake number 1. It's a decision too many people make while they're still emotionally raw. Friends or family might say, "It's too big now," or "It's full of memories," or even, "You'll feel better with a fresh start." And sure, the house may feel empty. The bed might feel cold. But rushing to put a for sale sign on the lawn just to avoid those feelings is like pouring cement while the ground is still shaking. You might not realize how much you're giving up until it's too late. There's no prize for how quickly you can downsize. There's no gold star for boxing up your life in a weekend. Take time to breathe. Sit with the silence, uncomfortable as it may be. You don't owe the world an answer. And your grief deserves more than a real estate deadline. A house isn't just walls and a roof. It holds the echo of every birthday cake you ever lit together, every laugh in the hallway, every sleepy goodnight. Wait until your mind is steady enough to decide whether you're truly ready to let that go. The second mistake comes not with a signature, but with a shrug. It's giving away your spouse's things too soon. You might think it's just stuff. An old jacket, a watch, a coffee mug that still smells like home. Maybe your niece says, "Didn't he promise me that painting?" Or a neighbor eyes the garage tools. And in your dazed state, it feels easier to say, "Sure, take it." But here's what happens. Weeks later, you reach for that mug, or you hear a song and remember that jacket, and it hits you. You gave away something sacred while your heart was still bleeding. Grief tricks you into thinking you should let go of the physical reminders to stop the pain. But often, those items are what help you process it. So lock the guest room if you need to. Tell people gently but firmly, "I'm not ready to part with anything yet." Anyone who truly respects you will understand. The ones who don't, let that be their problem, not yours. The third mistake might seem harmless. It might even seem responsible. But it's a trap. Rushing to change financial paperwork without fully understanding the consequences. After a spouse passes, there's often a push to update deeds, remove names from titles, change insurance beneficiaries, and access retirement funds. Some of this is necessary, yes, but not all of it is urgent. A surprising number of seniors lose major benefits because they moved too fast. In some states, removing your late spouse from the property deed right away could eliminate tax protections. In others, cashing out certain accounts could trigger penalties you didn't see coming. It's a minefield, and it's not fair that you're expected to navigate it while half your world is missing. Here's your lifeline. You don't need to do everything right now. In fact, you shouldn't. The right advisor will not pressure you. If someone tells you this has to be done now, take a breath and ask, why? Then check with someone else. And don't be afraid to get 2, even 3 opinions. The goal isn't speed, it's clarity, and you deserve to understand what you're signing before the ink dries. Now, mistake number 4 has nothing to do with paperwork. It has everything to do with people. It's about leaning too hard on the wrong ones, or inviting new people into your life too quickly. After a loss, you're vulnerable. Not just emotionally, but practically. Maybe a neighbor starts visiting more. Maybe a friend becomes your go-to for everything. Maybe someone new seems to always be just around, helping you shop, clean, cook, and while it can feel comforting at first, that comfort can quickly morph into something unsettling. Suddenly, you find yourself relying on someone who wasn't part of your life before, someone you didn't fully choose. And here's the danger. Not everyone shows up with pure intentions. Some come for your vulnerability. Others come for control. Or worse. You don't need to shut everyone out, but you do need boundaries. Ask yourself, would I trust this person with my bank card, my spare key, my secrets? If the answer is no, or even I don't know, then you're allowed to be cautious. You're allowed to say, I need space. This isn't the time to fill the hole your spouse left with someone who hasn't earned a place there. And then there's the fifth mistake, the quietest, but maybe the most dangerous. Isolating yourself. It starts small. You skip dinner with friends. You stop answering calls. Church feels like too much. So does the grocery store. Before long, the days blend together. The walls close in. The silence, which once hurt, now feels normal. But it's not. It's just grief's way of shrinking your world until nothing feels possible anymore. Don't let it win. Yes, your spouse was the one you laughed with, the one who knew your habits, your routines, your bad jokes. But just because they're gone doesn't mean you disappear too. One small step, a short walk, a library visit, a coffee with a neighbor, can be a light in the fog. You don't need to pretend you're okay. You don't need to be cheerful. But you do need connection. Even when you don't feel like it. Especially when you don't feel like it. And let's say this too. Grief is not a weakness. Taking time doesn't mean you're stuck. Saying no doesn't mean you're selfish. It means you're protecting what you and your partner built. That life you had together. It deserves to be honored slowly, carefully, and with the kind of thoughtfulness that grief tries to steal from you. If you've made it this far, you already know something others don't. You know that loss isn't just a chapter. It's a rewrite of the whole story. But that doesn't mean the story ends. We ended by talking about isolation. But here's the thing no one warns you about. Sometimes isolation doesn't look like sitting in a dark room. Sometimes it looks like keeping busy. Too busy. You start fixing everything in the house. You dive into paperwork. You become the helpful grandparent, the volunteer at church, the one who always says yes. It's noble. It's distracting. And it can be just as dangerous as doing nothing at all. Because staying too busy is often just another form of running. Running from the grief you haven't had time to feel. That's mistake number 6. You can't outrun heartbreak by filling your calendar. Eventually, the silence you've avoided finds you. Usually late at night, when the dishes are done and your phone's stopped buzzing. That's when it hits. So don't pack your days just to dodge the feelings. Make space to feel. Cry in the garden. Talk to your spouse's photo. Journal, pray, walk, sit. Whatever brings you face to face with the pain you've earned the right to feel. Don't just survive it. Process it. Now, mistake number 7 may come from the best intentions, but it has long-term consequences. It's when people assume they have to help their kids financially now that the other parent is gone. You think, well, now it's just me. I should help with their mortgage, their car, their bills. Maybe they even hint at it. Maybe they outright ask. And because you feel closer to them now, more vulnerable, more bonded by loss, you say yes. But don't. Not right away. You don't owe anyone anything, especially not when your own financial future is uncertain. Retirement money doesn't stretch like it used to. Costs go up. Emergencies happen. You might live longer than you expect, and if you give away chunks of your security now, you might not be able to get it back when you need it most. Helping your children should be a joy, not an obligation. It should be planned, not reactive, and it should never come at the expense of your dignity, safety, or independence. You raised them. You've done enough. You're allowed to put yourself first now. Mistake 8 is sneakier, and far more common than people admit. It's trying to become your old self again, as quickly as possible. You know the one. The smiling, social, organized, composed version of you from before. People say things like, "You're so strong," or "You're handling this so well," and you feel pressured to live up to it. So you do your hair. You show up to events. You nod along and pretend you're fine. But inside, you're crumbling. This isn't strength. This is survival mode. And it's not sustainable. Letting yourself fall apart doesn't make you weak. It makes you honest. It makes you human. Real healing comes when you stop chasing your old life and start making peace with a new one. You don't need to go back. You need to go forward, however slowly. You don't need to be okay. You need to be real. So if you break down in the grocery store because your spouse always picked the cereal, let it happen. If you can't face the holidays this year, skip them. This is your grief, your timeline. Don't perform for anyone. Mistake number 9 is about paperwork again. But this time, it's the kind you avoid. It's the will you don't update. The medical directive you never finish. The power of attorney you meant to set up but didn't. And here's the painful irony. You just lived through how chaotic things can become when the person you love passes without everything in place. Don't repeat that cycle for someone else. Yes, it's hard. Looking at your own mortality feels like inviting it in for tea, but it's not about fear. It's about love. The best way to honor your spouse's memory is to ensure that when your time comes, your family won't have to suffer through the confusion, legal mess, and unanswered questions you've just survived. Updating your affairs isn't a chore. It's a kindness. It says, "I loved you enough to make this easier for you." So talk to someone. Set the time aside. Do it now, not someday. And finally, mistake 10, the biggest one of all. Believing that the best parts of your life are over. It's understandable. Your favorite person is gone. Your routine is shattered. The future you imagined has vanished. It's easy to believe that what's ahead can never compare to what's behind. That joy was something you used to feel. That love, laughter, purpose, those were from a chapter that's now closed. But here's what I want you to know. The story isn't over. Yes, it will look different. Yes, it may be quieter, slower, gentler. But beauty still exists. Laughter will come again. It might catch you off guard during a rerun of a show you both loved, or maybe through the ridiculous way your neighbor tries to parallel park. Joy will return. It always does. Maybe not in the form you expected, but often in ways you never dreamed possible. One day, you'll meet someone new, maybe a friend, a grandchild, a neighbor, a kind stranger, who reminds you that connection didn't die when your spouse did. One day, a hobby you never had time for will become the thing you look forward to. One day, the pain won't go away, but it'll soften, like a scar that no longer aches but still carries weight. Your life is still yours. And here's something your spouse would want you to hear. You don't have to feel guilty for finding happiness again. Loving your life now doesn't mean you loved them any less. In fact, it might be the deepest way to honor them. By continuing the story the two of you began, even if you're writing the next chapters on your own. So where does that leave you? It leaves you with choices. To wait before making big decisions. To hold on to meaningful things until your heart is clear. To guard your finances with care. To be wary of people who show up too fast. To keep moving, slowly but surely, back into the light. You didn't ask for this chapter, but you get to choose how you walk through it. And if this moment right now feels unbearable, just promise me this. Don't make a decision out of pain that your future self will have to carry. Breathe. Rest. Protect what matters. And one more thing. If this message felt like it was speaking directly to your heart, that's because it was written for you. For the version of you that's tired of pretending to be okay. For the part of you that still wonders if life can be full again. It can, and it will. If you found a little peace in this, go ahead and hit subscribe. Not because it helps me, but because there are more stories coming that might help you. And leave a comment with your city. It's comforting, isn't it, to know that even in grief, we're not as alone as we think. We started this video in silence. If you stayed with me till now, then let this be the moment we break it. With understanding, with hope, and with a tiny whisper that says, you're going to be okay. Maybe not today, but one day soon.